Hey guys, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project. Jasmine Farlow is a good friend of mine. I've known her in pageant world, I think pageantry maybe about a year, but in the pageant world it's like dog years. You know, that seems like a lifetime. And I'm here to tell you that she's one of the genuine ones. End of 2018, I put a post about this up on Instagram just today. End of 2018, even the beginning of 2019, was a bit of a reality check for me in terms of the pageantry world. Not everyone is genuine in it, but like I say to everyone, that's not a diss on the pageantry world, because in real life, not everyone's genuine either. I just keep saying, don't believe anyone who tells you that everyone in pageantry is a saint, because it ain't true, and I think you'd know that. But through thick and thin, Jasmine is someone who I have tremendous respect for. I have friends such as Gemma White who have judged and worked at, volunteered, I guess, at Jasmine's pageants and said they had a fantastic experience. And it's one of the few systems that I've only heard good things about. So Jasmine and I caught up at the Hunter Valley Zoo just the last weekend. She's taking a giant team over for Milestone. I think there's 8 in her team altogether and I guess this says a lot about her. She didn't want to take the opportunity away from other girls that she'd been given, so she decided to take 7 other girls with her. That's just who she is. So just before I get you to the interview, I want to say if you're someone who's interested in doing some coaching, as in you want to coach and get paid for it, or if you're a photographer who's interested in doing some TFP, or you have a pageant, you're a director, head on over to my website, thepageantproject.com, and sign up to my email list. I'm going to start putting together directories of coaches, of photographers. Someone suggested makeup artists. I think it's a great idea, especially in Australia. I know there are directories for people overseas, but here in Australia, we're a pretty niche market. So if you'd like to coach, get paid for it, you get to set the fees. I'll list you and I'll work at the details for it later. Got to make sure, obviously, that everyone who's listed is of a certain quality and that everyone is doing right by everyone else. So head on over to thepageantproject.com. Sign up to my email list. It's simply the easiest way for me to keep in touch. Social is hit and miss. And without further ado, here's Jasmine. Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I'm here with Miss Oceana Milestone 2019, Jasmine Farlow.
Hi, how you going?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, do you want to explain to everyone just the crazy stuff that we've been doing today, I guess as a start?
Well, we have been at the Hunter Valley Zoo all day long doing our official photo shoots for Milestone 2019, which of course is held in the Philippines. But as Team Australia, we wanted to show the world a little bit of the culture, the flora and fauna that we have here. So the girls have been doing some crazy photo shoots. We've shot with wombats, we've shot with possums, we had a large python. It's pretty incredible, and it's actually never been done before as an official Australian pageant photo shoot.
So where'd you get the idea to shoot here?
I actually don't know. I just thought it would be really fun. And
you like animals, though, let's be fair. You've been going around the zoo going, oh my God, that's so cute, finger monkeys this, finger monkeys that, so...
Yes.
You do have a problem.
I do have a problem. I love animals, and if I could live here, I would.
Which enclosure would you sleep in?
The dingo one.
Of course. Okay, so where'd you get the idea from? Just came to you randomly one day?
Yeah, well, I have actually shot with animals before, so I've shot with pythons and snakes and... lizards and all kinds of things, but I actually figured that it showcases our country. So I was like, well, It's something that, is different. It's something that showcases who we are, and it's something that will just have a little bit of fun for the girls.
Well, they certainly look like they had fun.
Yes, I think they did. I think the snake emptying its bowels was a little bit of fun for that.
It was a little graphic. I videoed that. I'm not sure I ever want to see that again. When is the international pageant and where?
Okay, so it is in September this year in the Philippines, in Manila.
Okay. Now, I know you have an incredibly busy schedule. So if you're going to choose to take on a pageant, either as competitor or director, there's got to be a good reason. So why did you get behind this particular pageant?
Okay, so this pageant is actually what it puts out. A lot of pageants put out a moral or a motto, and they actually don't believe in that. This particular one protects women's rights, and it actually advocates for violence against women and it tries to get through. So the director's from India, so there is a very large cause over there, and it is a big issue. So he really truly believes in it, and he treats his women with a lot of respect. And we've actually had ladies go over before, one who came back with the crown last year, the international massive big crown, which we were really excited about. And they just became really fast friends, and he's just a wonderful guy. So yeah, it's really something that you can get behind because you know it's honest and you know it's true.
Yeah, and that actually is a huge thing, very important thing.
It is. It's not
as we both know.
It's not just saying, oh, you know, we believe in this, but you actually don't believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going over yourself.
I am.
You have your team down there as well.
Yeah, they do.
So we always talk about results and whether you have any. I mean, do you have any results in mind for yourself or for your team?
My results are mainly for my team.
Okay.
So my competing, I was originally asked to compete years ago, and I just didn't have the funds to go over. So I sent a couple of girls over who did have the funds, and they had a fantastic time. And I was asked to compete again this year, but I didn't want to take the opportunity away from other girls.
Right.
So I've created a big team. So for me, my aim is to get in there, get behind the scenes and experience absolutely every bit of this pageant, from dressing to speaking to interviewing, and know exactly the ins and outs of it, so that when I do direct girls in the future, I can say, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. But for my team as a whole, I would love, obviously, for us to come back with the crowns. It would be incredible.
Yeah.
But I really just want them to have fun.
Yeah.
It's the main thing. If you don't have fun, why are you doing it?
I mean, on that note, what advice would you have for your team? So having fun obviously is important. In their interviews, I can tell you a lot of them talked about the importance of being themselves, not taking themselves seriously, which I guess is the same thing. So is that the main advice? Do you have any other sort of advice for them?
Look, you do have to take this seriously. You're putting a lot of effort in, you're putting a lot of money in to go over. So on some level, you do have to be really serious about it. There's a lot of, you know, behind the scenes efforts and hours and all that kind of thing you have to log in. But if you're not going to enjoy it and it's going to become too stressful, then why bother doing it? So yeah, be yourself, because there's no point in being someone else just because you think that they want you to be that person. So we do have one girl who is heavily tattooed, and I know that she wants to show people that just because you have tattoos doesn't mean that you can't fight for what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, put you on the spot. You probably can't answer. I know you've been doing pageantry for many, many years, modelling for many, many years.
Yes.
So what number pageant is this?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I really don't.
Roughly, are you up to like 20?
Something like that. Probably closer to 30, to be honest with you, if I include the glitz pageants.
Yeah.
That doesn't include comps. So obviously there's a big difference between a comp and a pageant. One's just a one-off kind of fun thing. The other you work months and months for. But there have been so many, but each of them have kind of taught me something different. And from each one, I've grown, I've learnt things, and things have actually been reiterated and cemented into my head, which has been, I guess, beneficial for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans as to how long you keep? I mean, is this like rest of your life? Or is there like a certain goal that you want to hit? I mean, you've done it a long time.
I have. Look, I have. And I guess for me, once I settle down relationship-wise and all that kind of stuff, I'll kind of like take another step back. I already have taken another step back. I used to compete, you know, if there was a pageant, I was in it.
Yeah.
But at this stage, I've kind of stepped back from competing and more taken on the directorship role. Of letting other girls kind of, you know, live out their dreams and that kind of thing. But I guess once I get a ring...
It felt like a really subtle hint.
Which it isn't actually a subtle hint because there's nobody.
There's a dingo.
There's a dingo. No. He's my baby, not my husband.
Well, we won't go into that.
No, I think that will be what kind of slows me down a little bit.
You don't seem like the sort of person who would ever slow down, though.
Oh, I'll go on to different things, and I'll probably be more behind the scenes, like I said, directing and coaching, and I still do all that now. I just won't be so much on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one of the questions I've been asking your team, probably the biggest question, which was, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned from pageantry? And you might need to think a bit, because you've got a hell of a lot more experience than all of them probably put together. But what is probably, maybe not the biggest, but like a biggest lesson that you've learned?
There's kind of two lessons that blur into one, to be honest with you, and I really didn't have to think about this at all.
Right.
So one is just don't try and pretend to be somebody else, because it's not worth it. You may as well be genuine and enjoy your own journey. Whether they like you to wear this or wear that, yes, there's rules, you've got to follow them, that kind of thing, but still make it your own. And the other one is that you're going to meet a lot of people. Some of them you're going to love, some of them you're not going to get along with so well. And it doesn't matter who they are. You don't need to pretend to be someone else to please them. It doesn't matter what level they are in the industry or what level they think they are in the industry. Just be yourself and do it for yourself.
On that note, what about integrity? I mean, when you have the opportunity, I mean, 'cause like everyone wants to win at some level. And sometimes there's a lot of politicking involved.
Yeah.
What is the advice you have for that? Because sometimes people, it's not just in pageantry, in any walk of life, people can get nasty.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with that? Because I can't imagine that everyone you've dealt with has been super nice.
No, there have been some very nasty people, and it's sad to say, but there are some nasty people. You're going to come across them no matter what you do, whether you work in retail, whether you own a car shop, whether you're doing pageantry, it doesn't matter, there's going to be nasty people.
So how have you dealt with it?
Look, you've just got to do what you think is right. That's all it comes down to. Like I said, be in it for yourself. Like, be kind to people, but be in it for you. And if you don't think those morals or the person's values match yours, then they're not the person you align yourself with. And if you want the opportunity, you don't necessarily have to take the opportunity that's right in front of you. You don't have to keep going back and going back and going back for just that one. In pageantry, there's so many opportunities, and they're popping up everywhere at the moment. Honestly, they're like daisies. They just keep coming up in Australia. There's so many of them. So, you know, try out a few. Just find which one suits you. Yeah.
That's good advice. Okay, well, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the weather here. So before we go, we'll go to the final 10 questions. Before we do that, would you like to give the lovely ladies and gentlemen at home watching your social details?
My social details? Well,
you have to think, because you have probably more Instagram accounts than I do, so.
Look, I do have a lot of Instagram accounts.
Diego as well has it.
The most important one is Diego _ the dingo, and that's my baby boy, and he's an 8-month-old dingo. I have a couple of business accounts. So there's Soul _ Co, which is a fashion label, which is actually what I'm wearing at the moment. They are a sponsor of the Milestone Pageant system. There's also my personal one, of course, so that's just Jasmine Farlow, and that's on Instagram and Facebook as well. So I guess they're my 3 most important. Other than, of course, Milestone Pageants, but that runs under Newcastle Miss Pageants Australia.
Okay, great. All right. Do you remember your answers from the 10 questions last time?
No.
No? Do I remember the 10 questions?
No.
All right, here we go. Number 1, what is your favourite word?
I do remember my answer, but I'm going to change it.
Okay, you're not allowed, if you remember, you're not allowed to use any of the same answers. We've got to put you on the spot to make it tough so we can inspire your team.
I love the word inspire.
That's what you're going to take?
No, okay. Let's see. Supercalifragilistic.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Yeah, but I just shortened it for our viewers.
Okay.
Also, I couldn't remember.
What is your least favourite word?
Negativity.
Okay. What?
There's a peacock.
In the corner of my eye, like, what was that? Okay. What turns you on?
Pop rocks. For our viewers, Pop rocks are these little candies that you put in your mouth and they just like fizzle. They're pretty incredible. And there's a chocolate with Pop rocks in it. So, 2 amazing things.
It's one of the funniest things today. Moving on, what turns you off? Pop rocks, why Pop?
My dog chewing my shoes. I hate that.
Well, that happens a lot. So.
A lot.
How does he find, like, can you not just put them in a drawer and lock it?
No, so he's figured out how to open the kitchen pantry. He can do that. My cupboards are sliding cupboards. So originally I had them in a shoe rack, but he would open the sliding cupboard and pull them off the shoe rack. So now they're all the way up the top. And I'm like, built this whole entire shoe rack for no reason. He's very shifty.
This is a very intelligent dingo.
He's extremely smart.
Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Rain on a tin roof. And that's not because it's about to happen. I actually really do like that noise.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate babies crying. I hate babies crying.
I'm having deja. I'm sure that's what you answered last time.
I don't know if that was what I answered, but I can't
We'll sit
do
with
it.
that. No, I think for you that's appropriate. Okay. One of the questions I also ask your team, if you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
I always say the same superpower because I've always wanted it. I want to be able to read people's minds.
Oh, one of your teammates had that answer. Why?
Yeah. I think it's just a good tool to be able to use to know whether somebody's telling the truth or whether they're actually genuinely who they say they are. And also it would help being on stage, knowing whether or not the judges like you.
That's true. Okay. What about if you could try any occupation other than your own? What would you most like to attempt?
A vet. I actually am going to do a veterinary course this year, and I've been trying to contact TAFE for so long and they just don't get back to me. So I'm really, really trying to get into that.
Wow, okay. What about what job or occupation would you definitely not like to attempt?
It's sort of similar but different. A nurse. I couldn't do that for people.
Right.
I don't know whether it's because animals just can't argue with you when you're trying to, you know.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just think that, like, I respect them very, very much, and I think what they do is fantastic,
Yeah.
but I just don't think I have that within me.
Fair enough. Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Here's your Matthew Man gown, the stage is that way.
Pop rocks. God. Okay, well, on that note, we're actually having a busy day, as Jasmine said. So we're still at the zoo, and we still got a group shoot to do. We're just waiting for someone who's actually here now. So perfect timing, as usual. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, all this way you've travelled.
I know, I'm getting used to it. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, then make sure to subscribe by clicking here. If you'd like to watch some of our interviews right now, then click here, and also make sure to follow us on all our socials right here. Speak to you next time.